Alright, so we're gonna react to some more scary animations, and we're here with MGV animations again because his animation was clean, bro. I'm not gonna lie. 3 true spooky horror stories animated to watch at dark.
I'm a 21-year-old girl who loves to watch horror stories on YouTube.
Yeah, me
Not
too.
gonna lie though, 9 times out of 10, when I watch these stories, I assume they're fake. I've never heard of a single person I know go through anything like what I've heard about on here. I see things on the news, sure, but nothing's ever hit close to home. However, that was only the case until something truly shocking happened to me last week. It happened in a completely safe neighborhood too, forcing me to realize this stuff actually does happen in real life, no matter who or where you are. When this happened, only my dad and I were home, as my mom had gone overseas for a couple of weeks. He had gone to bed around 10 p.m., but I'm a college student who's off school for the summer, so I was taking the opportunity to stay up as late as I wanted. I had the living room to myself,
That's just like me, bro.
with access to all the streaming services my parents were signed up to. I was so sucked into it all that I didn't even think to close the curtains. The whole neighborhood had gone to bed except for me, and aside from the street lights, it felt like the TV was the only light shining on the whole block. It was just about the only thing making any noise too. The silence around me lasted for hours, until around 1 a.m.
So your neighbors can just hear you from outside? You can just hear your TV? Yo, your neighbors must hate you, bro. I would have hated you. If I was one of your neighbors, I'm trying to sleep and I hear your TV in the background, bro, I'm coming over there and slapping your ass.
I heard a sound as if the garage door was opening. However, this happened a lot where I'd hear a noise late at night that sounded like the garage, when it was really just the AC unit kicking on.
You know how much that would scare the living shit out of me? You telling me every time I hear my garage, what I think is my garage opening, it's actually my AC? That would give me heart, like my heart would stop.
I just waited to feel a current of fresh air. Though, as I listened more closely to the noise and noticed how soon it had stopped, I realized it sounded exactly like the garage door did when it opened.
Yeah, that was
I still believed I was being paranoid.
Ow, no.
But I decided to get up and check
Do not check it. No,
I
don't
walked
check
up to the door
Oh my
that led out
God, what are you doing?
and opened it to double check that the garage door was still closed. I experienced the worst fear, shock, and horror of my life when I saw a man standing inside my garage.
Oh, that gave me chills, bro.
Gut-wrenching eye contact before I freaked out and slammed the door back into the house.
Yeah,
I locked it a split second before I heard the man on the other side run into it. At this point, I froze for a second involuntarily. It was like my brain knew I should run to my dad for help.
Oh, your dad is
My heart was
home?
beating so fast.
Oh yeah, okay.
My legs were so shaky I could barely move. I snapped out of the state when the doorknob in front of me started to shake. The guy was trying to get in. I ran as fast as I could upstairs to my dad's room and told him someone was breaking in. He shot up out of bed and ran in front. I was already heading, the closet where we kept our revolver. He grabbed the gun and rushed downstairs to the garage door, where someone was still trying to get through. I stupidly did not think to call the police until that moment, so I whipped out my phone to call 911 as my dad ordered me to go upstairs and lock myself in my room. I did so, crying as I went because I was so scared something would happen to my dad. It felt like forever. I kept expecting to hear screaming, gunshots, then the sound of someone creeping up the stairs to get me. I can't even remember how long I waited for. It could have been minutes or hours, but the police finally showed up. I heard the sirens come down the road and saw the red and blue lights flashing.
Can they arrest him for that? Yeah, they could. I forgot that he was banging on their door and trying to get in and shit like that.
But even then, I still had to wait for them to catch him and hope that nobody got hurt. Thankfully, the police were able to catch the man in our garage without any major disaster. He was never able to get inside the house, but continued to bang on the door and mess with the knob.
Don't show me his
last
face
second.
again, bro. That gave me chills.
I came downstairs upon hearing my dad give me the all clear. I got to see the man being walked away in handcuffs. He tried to hide his face, but my dad was still able to identify him. Apparently, the guy trying to break in was one of our neighbors. He knew my mom would be out of town, and he knew her garage code, because my parents gave it to some of our neighbors in case we needed anything in the event of some emergency while we were away. With chaos that night,
Stupid ass bitch.
I didn't immediately recognize him myself. I just took my dad's word that he lived nearby. But then a few hours later, it clicked. I did know that guy. but we had never actually spoken. I only recognized him because for years, I've walked past his house and seen him staring at me out of the corner of my eye. Sometimes from his front yard,
That's
sometimes through his windows.
disgusting, bro. Look at him! No, go back.
Sometimes from his front yard.
Look! Yo, get this bitch out of my screen.
Sometimes through his windows. I always assumed he was just a starey divorced dad. Never expected he was ever thinking about something as crazy as breaking into our house. Now,
Yo, well, now you know.
I have to wonder how long he could have been watching me without me knowing. The craziest thing is, I couldn't even put a name to his face for the longest time. Even when he was standing in the garage right in front of my eyes. Letting him have the garage code is my parents' biggest regret to this day. They've just never had a reason not to trust anyone in their lives and didn't see it as a big deal. The police haven't yet updated us on my neighbor's motive, though I guess it's not really a mystery. After this happened, because I keep picturing this guy's sick, deranged face every time I close my eyes.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a jump scare. I'm only gonna watch one because I'm sleepy as hell, but I need to go sleep.